Hey, I'm Ronnie,
And I'm Thea.
and we're the Niccolo twins. We're gonna let y'all in on our bond today, so stick with us.
All right, so Thea, we have some questions for you. We know that Ronnie is going through a transition, and we would like to know when did you notice a change in your brother?
A year, within the first year.
How did the change affect you as a twin sister?
Well, it affected me a great deal because for 25 years, it was my sister. So even having to change my verbiage, how I would say, "Hey sister," is now "Hey brother." That was kind of hard to cross over, and it affected me because I felt like it was certain things I couldn't say anymore. Even though I've known him my whole life, I didn't understand how to be his sister.
What is the hardest part about your brother's transition?
There's no hard part. It's pretty easy, as if I never had a sister. But back when, I just think, just addressing Ronnie the right way was hard, for me.
What do you mean by the right way?
Well, because I used to say her instead of him. That was hard. And then if I wasn't doing it right, how could I stand by you and make sure you was going to transition? Well, so it was hard.
How do you think your brother has handled his transition?
I want to say well.
Why do you say that?
Because it's almost like it happened so naturally. He never really told me any hard parts about it. I always see him just striving to be the best man he can be, and it looks effortless.
So when did you realize a change within yourself?
I noticed it when I just kept waking up unhappy. Like I had everything I could have ever asked for: a family, good jobs, nice cars. I never really had it where I felt like I was struggling, and yet I struggled to get out of bed every day. And one day I just looked at myself and I was just like, something is missing. And in that moment, I knew what it was, and I wanted to be who I saw when I looked in the mirror, and I just couldn't push it back any other day. I needed to live in my truth, and that's what I did.
What was the hardest part about transitioning for you?
My family, seeing my family struggle with pronouns, and just thinking, hey, I'm happy, I'm where I'm at in life, but I never really sat down and said, hey, how do they feel about it? And when I thought about that, it became a little harder for me, because I'm like, man, at one point I was their daughter, at one point I was their sister, at one point I was their aunt, and now it's just like, how do they feel? Like, how is that affecting their life?
So how would you critique your family as a part of in your transition?
Amazing. Like, they're my biggest support. Like, the moment I told them I was transitioning, they said, we always knew. It's you, Ronnie, We don't see you as anything other than that. It's just now you're going to be able to see yourself as who you always wanted to see yourself as.
What effect did your sister have in your transition?
Well,
Your twin.
That's tough, because I never really, this is probably the first time I'm sitting down with this conversation in almost 3 years. So I don't know what effect it had on her, but if it is an effect, she damn sure didn't show one. She's been rocking and rolling with me from the very first step, and because of her, my steps are that much easier. So maybe one day she can tell me the effect it had on her. If she's ready, she can tell me now.
I didn't really feel no type of way, because that's his life, and he had to do what he had to do, and I was doing what I needed to do. But when I found out, it kind of hurt, because I'm like, what? I had a sister for all these years. I don't know about no twin. I don't know about a twin brother. I mean, are we gonna have those talks like we used to talk? Am I gonna be able to, tell you all this girly stuff I go through on a daily basis? Because it'd be tough. And it was just like, I thought that somebody was taking my best friend at first, but I got a better one.
So has anything changed between you guys?
Nah, I wouldn't say that.
It's just now, I don't be going to the bathroom with her and her friends. We go to different bathrooms.
Yeah, that part. I always say, see you on the other side.
Yeah, like that's the only big change, just the gender where we supposed to be at.
Yeah.
Was there ever a low point in your transition? If so, what was it?
Most definitely. I was in the lowest place for almost 2 years with my chest. So I just started hiding away. Like, I used to get dressed and everything would make sense. Like, I could have my clothes on and I had chest at the time, but it was okay because I didn't have facial hair. And then when I started growing my facial hair in, I felt like people was trying to stare. It was just staring at me because, hey, like, this guy has this, and that. So I started more so walking different with my head down and tucked away. And I wouldn't go to clubs and I wouldn't go out. So it felt good when I got my surgery because in that moment, I didn't feel low anymore. And, like, now it's just like, everybody like, man, I'm so proud of you. But now I can be who I always want to be because I'm not hiding anymore.
So as twins, what would you guys, like, I'm sure there's other twins in the world that's completely different. What would you say to other people, not even just twins, that's kind of going through the same thing and don't know how to handle it?
Talk about it, yeah.
Don't just isolate yourself because it's different. Talk about the difference. Talk about the feelings. Don't close yourself in. Like, even though we're going through a change, and life is changing every day. So, like, don't judge that change. Try to understand it. We need each other. I think my brother needed me the most, and I needed him too.
I honestly don't think I would have been able to get through this transition so effortlessly, like she said, without her. I think it was more so easier for me because I knew no matter what, even if the world turned it back on me, I would have had her, and that was only the push I needed to be a better me and greater. So if you are going through stuff, find someone that you can lean on because at the end of the day, that's all you need. Just that one person can make a difference in your life. And if you don't have anybody, just be confident, know that all it takes is one person to change the world. And you just change your world the way you want it to change, and then you live in it.
That's good.